Apple just dropped AirPods with live translation that can instantly translate conversations in real time. We're living in a world where AI can handle reading, writing, speaking, and listening across dozens of languages with incredible accuracy and basically zero delay. So here's the question that's probably crossed your mind. If a machine can do all the translation work for us, why should we still bother learning new languages? I get it. Language learning is hard. It takes years of consistent effort, countless hours of practice, and let's be honest, plenty of embarrassing moments trying to order food in a foreign country. When you can just pop in some earbuds and have perfect translation handed to you, the old school approach of actually learning the language seems almost antiquated. But here's the thing, and this might surprise you. Even with all this amazing technology, learning languages is still one of the best decisions you can make for your future. And I'm not just talking about some romantic notion of connecting with cultures. The research is absolutely clear on this. The process of learning a language does things for your brain, your personal development, and your social connections that no AI translator can replicate. Let's start with your brain, because this is where the science gets really compelling. When you learn a second language, you're not just memorizing vocabulary, you're literally rewiring your brain's architecture. Studies using brain imaging have shown that bilingual people have increased gray matter density in key areas compared to those who speak only one language. It's like your brain is getting a physical upgrade, but the benefits go way beyond just brain structure. Research consistently shows that people who speak multiple languages have superior memory, better attention control, and stronger problem-solving skills. Your brain is constantly choosing between different language systems, which trains what scientists call your executive function. Basically, your mental ability to focus, switch tasks, and ignore distractions. It's mental multitasking at the highest level. Here's the part that really caught my attention. Bilingualism acts as a defense against cognitive decline. A comprehensive analysis of multiple studies found that people who speak more than one language tend to show symptoms of Alzheimer's disease about 4 to 5 years later than monolingual people. 4 to 5 years. That's not a small difference. That's potentially years more of sharp, clear thinking in your later life. No pharmaceutical drug has achieved results like that. Now, let's talk about personal growth, because learning a language changes you in ways that using a translator never will. When you master a new language, you're not just adding a skill, you're expanding your identity. Each language gives you access to different ways of thinking and expressing yourself. You start to appreciate why certain phrases exist in that culture and how they frame reality differently than your native tongue. The process itself builds character. Every time you stumble through a conversation or finally understand a joke in your second language, you're developing resilience, humility, and confidence. You're learning to be comfortable with making mistakes and pushing through discomfort. These aren't just language skills, they're life skills that transfer to everything you do. But perhaps most importantly, language learning creates authentic human connections that AI simply cannot replicate. When you speak to someone in their native language, you're doing more than exchanging information. You're showing respect for their culture and demonstrating that you've invested time and effort to meet them in their world. Research on AI-mediated communication shows a crucial limitation. Interactions through translation devices are often perceived as less cooperative and emotionally detached. People apply what researchers call a machine heuristic. They instinctively understand that the AI doesn't truly feel or comprehend, which makes the interaction feel artificial and transactional. Compare that to speaking directly with someone in their language. Even if your grammar isn't perfect, the effort itself builds trust and rapport in ways that no technological intermediary can match. It transforms potentially transactional exchanges into relational ones, opening doors for deeper, more meaningful connections. There's also something that researchers call untranslatable concepts, words, and ideas so deeply embedded in a specific culture that they don't have direct equivalents in other languages. These aren't just linguistic quirks. They're windows into unique ways of thinking and organizing human experience. When you learn the language, you gain access to these cultural treasures in their authentic form, unfiltered by the limitations of even the best AI translation. From a practical standpoint, the career advantages are substantial. Multiple studies show that employees who speak a second language earn more on average than their monolingual counterparts. In our globalized economy, companies need people who can truly communicate across cultures, not just exchange basic information through a device. Look, I'm not saying AI translation isn't useful. It absolutely is, and you should use these tools when you need them. But here's what the research makes crystal clear: the benefits of actually learning a language, the cognitive enhancement, the personal growth, the authentic cultural connections, FS. These come from the process, not the product.